Let's make some soda cracker candy and epically mess it up. So this is a classic recipe in my household for the holidays. Of course, we are uploading this in January. You can tell how we're doing, but I did make this before Christmas. So the best way is to melt. I did a double batch, so everything in here is a double batch, but I melted my 2 cups of butter, dumped in my brown sugar. Make sure you spill that hot butter all over the stove. That's the way to do it. And then I'm just letting this get nice and bubbly and incorporated. So you see it's like a nice dark color, and the butter and brown sugar are one. This does take time, so make sure you're giving yourself the time to do that. Spreading this over my layers of saltine crackers. So I just filled 2 sheets with wax paper. This is where the error comes in. I used wax paper instead of parchment paper. Don't be like me. Use parchment paper. Also, my second tray was having problems, and I think it's because my tray is sitting on the burner that was just on, and so that part is like still cooking basically, so it messed it all up. Once you get that mixture spread around, you're going to pop these into an oven for just a few minutes. It's just a few minutes. Take them out of the oven. They're going to look a little wonky, and then you're going to sprinkle a ton of chocolate chips. I'm using semi sweet here. I recommend semi sweet or a dark or just like a mixture because it is so sweet. I think milk chocolate might be a little too rich. You're going to pop that back in the oven for about 3 to 5 minutes. You're not you're not cooking the chocolate. You're just simply using the residual heat in the oven to help melt it. And then you're going to go through and with a spatula just kind of get that melted chocolate spread around so it's on all the crackers, all the surfaces, and it's going to be delicious. So I'm going to do that to both trays. Again, like I said, I made a double recipe because I just really wanted to cry when it didn't turn out. And then I like to do just a little bit of salt on the top to kind of go with the salt in the saltine on the bottom. And then here's where I almost threw it across the room. So I popped it in the freezer like you do. And then I'm realizing now as I'm trying to break it apart that the wax paper is not it, and I was extremely frustrated. So I made it to bring to a family function. I ended up not bringing it to the family function because I didn't want to feed people paper because I'm nice. So instead, I threw away a whole entire batch and I put the other batch in my fridge. And then the next day, I was like, all right, I'm going to try to work on this. And so I just tried to salvage as much as I could, like getting as much paper as I could off of it. But seeing how much I actually made compared to how much I was actually able to enjoy, it was very frustrating, and I desperately need to make another batch because I did not get my fix. But there we go. Soda cracker candy.